Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about why your avoidant ex reaches out only to disappear again.
It's like a disappearing act.
Oh, it happens all the time. You may have gotten this random text by your ex out of nowhere, something indirect, how have you been? Or I missed the cat, or how's your uncle doing? I was thinking about him today. Or maybe they're watching your social media. And sometimes they reach out to you and then you reply and they don't answer.
Yeah.
That I've been hearing a lot lately.
Yes, I've been hearing that often too.
And so you get so excited hearing from them. You just overwhelmed with anxiety. You lose emotional self-control. You're like in a fog because you're just so happy that they finally reached out. And then silence.
And during a breakup, you're also super hypervigilant. So you get a message from them and you might be already concocting stories about how they're falling back in love with you and how they're interested and how they're wanting to repair just based off of, one little message. And so when they disappear, that absence now feels like, oh my gosh, this person, was giving me some attention and now it's gone. And that can feel much more intense in that hypervigilant state of a breakup.
Sure. Yeah, it's an awful feeling because you're like, what is happening here? I thought we were going to fix this and now they're completely gone again.
Right. So today we're going to break down exactly what happens when your avoidant ex breadcrumbs you and then poof, disappears. And more importantly, we're going to talk about what you should do when it happens so that you could stop feeling so helpless in these situations.
One of the things that I see is there's so much hurt and anger there that when you start talking with your friends about it, they're like, oh, they're just trying to manipulate you. And we don't really think that's the case in many situations, right? It's more like the internal conflict that they've had, right? So for many people, it's not that they're just trying to get your hopes up or anything like that, or play a game with you on purpose. It's that the internal struggle that they're having is overwhelming them. See, in the no contact, they start to have this need for connection. It continues to build up. And finally, they reach out to you and they get overwhelmed by that. Oh my gosh, what have I done? I shouldn't have reached out. This isn't going to work. And they get this overwhelming fear of losing their independence. Oh, you're going to beg, you're going to plead, you're going to try and change my mind again. And they're going to get sucked back in. So, they really need that time and space to get to a good place within themselves that they can handle that, because when it happens to you, it's going to really sting.
Yeah. Yeah. And for them, when they reach out, that's really when things become real. You reply and now the social contract of that tennis ball game back and forth conversation starts. And now there becomes even the tiniest bit of obligation to reply, to give a response, to continue it. Maybe there's like a, hey, how have things been? And there's like a shock of, I don't know how to respond to this. So that's their reaction. They've maybe entertained the conversation, they get a reply from you. Now there's even just that little grain of obligation and they're backing up. So they're deciding to deactivate, to kind of take a step back. Now it's real. And on your end, you're feeling like this is whiplash. You're feeling like this is a roller coaster. Wait a minute, you're reaching out to me. I'm trying to continue the conversation and poof, you disappear. What's going on here? So their reach out is real in the moment, but the fear is also real. So that's why there's this back and forth. And so many of you, because once again, I'm bringing back that hypervigilant state, you obsess about these details. What did they say? What time did they send it? Maybe they, went to go to someone's house right after they sent this, or maybe they forgot about it, or how important was it? So we can obsess about these small details and we can miss the bigger picture of, we're talking about somebody with an avoidant attachment style. There's going to be these kind of patterns.
It's crazy how like that, just that one little bid to connect with you, it sucks you right back in.
Yeah.
It takes all of your energy and focuses it on them again, right? And it's like, it's not fair that it happens to us, that, these little breadcrumbs just take us over and it consume our mind. But one way to look at it is like, you dip your toe in the pool and then it's so cold, you're like, oh, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's kind of like what they're going through, and it's very confusing when they do it. But why do they do this? Why do they do these breadcrumbs? Well, Avoidants hate to feel trapped, and they don't like feeling vulnerable. It's a very uncomfortable feeling for them. And the idea of a real conversation is too risky. It's too overwhelming. They can't handle all those different emotions, and they just get this instinct to shut down or flee or run away. So they do these low-risk breadcrumbs. I miss the cat. The indirect direct is what we call it. They like a photo. They like a story. They send that "how are you" message and they don't reply. Something that's safe for them, non-committal, and they feel better because now they've connected to you. And then you feel worse because now you're like, what did that mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. And these breadcrumbs serve them because for them, they get that small little hit of connection of, okay, I'm reaching out to them in some way. I'm thinking of them. They test if you're still available. Are you going to respond? Are you not? And they get just that little hint of validation without continuing the conversation or feeling like they owe you anything. Mm-hmm. It feels safe to them, but it can keep you on the hook emotionally. And like I said, when we're in that anxious state, we can tend to obsess. You know, one message that they had kind of put out there just to test the water, and we're like, nope. And they're kind of in a different direction or compartmentalizing that or, you know, pushing that away is something that you're thinking about and trying to decipher the meaning of. So we have to be aware of how our anxiety works throughout all of this because it's part of the pattern. So they're probably not actively trying to manipulate you, but it's probably more so them trying to get that little bit of connection and feel okay enough for them to move on. Is that fair to you? No.
No, it's not. It's cruel and it's awful.
Right.
So what do you do? Well, we don't want you to ignore them, but we definitely don't want you to chase them. And that is very easy to do, right? If you reply to them and then they don't reply back, your instinct is going to be like to double text, to follow up. Don't do it. Stop chasing. Every time you reply or ask them questions or get pulled into it without them really investing, you're kind of giving your power away. Mm-hmm. And now they're going to get leverage and control of the situation. We want it to be fair for both people. We don't want you to play games, but we know that it's not easy for them to make those bids to connect, but we don't want to tolerate them continuing to make those bids. And we have videos talking about breadcrumbing that go into that in detail. But we want to reply because ignoring them, they could not make another bid to connect. But at some point, we might have to set a limit, which we talk about in depth in other videos. Mm-hmm. But we don't want you to chase. And it's very easy to get sucked into the chasing them when they're making very little effort here.
Oh, yeah. You really have to think about protecting yourself. All too often, we're overanalyzing what they said, what we're going to reply back, and we're not thinking about how can I protect my heart and how can I protect my emotional energy in this interaction. So I want you to think about that. I want you to be able to go back to that place where you can regain that emotional stability, right? Mm-hmm. You can stop that cycle from controlling your mood. It's so wild how, one message from your ex can completely change your mood for the entire day or week or month.
Yeah, I was going to say weeks.
Yeah. So, think about the goal here really being to think clear-headed, be able to, take in whatever they're sending you. Is this something where they're continuing on a conversation? Are they being a little bit more consistent and wanting to hear more and asking questions and showing curiosity? Mm-hmm. Or is this just like a here or there, I'm sending you something, you reply, and I don't say anything back, So really think about what the interaction's value is. Mm-hmm. Think about that as a whole.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. You're not crazy when you go through this, because you're going to feel kind of crazy that it's like one little thing. All it takes is one little text message and you're going to be hooked for weeks.
And I see many of you get angry too. This can happen a couple times, and I could see some of you with the short fuse being like, you've sent me the same cat reel like 2 times in the past week. Mm-hmm. What is going on? So I could see that need to want to set a boundary really quickly and protect yourself in that way. I would lay low, see what happens, see if their interest increases. But then also at a point, set a boundary. We have other videos on that. Yeah.
But definitely don't lose emotional self-control. No. That's going to kill the traction. It's going to hurt the chances of this turning around. This is about their attachment issues in many cases, not about your worth. And it can really get to us that we feel kind of worthless in a breakup when somebody rejects us or walks away. We want you all to be in a situation where things are relatively consistent. We know it can take time, and it's good for both of you to take your time in repairing a relationship that ended. You may get some hot and cold behavior, but if you've been committed to working on the personal growth, like we've been begging you to do, it's going to put you in a much more centered place to navigate, because you may think that no contact is difficult and not knowing if they come back is difficult. And it is. But in a way, it's simple because it's only one thing that you have to stick to.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're trying to reattract somebody, you're having to navigate how you behave and interact with them on a consistent basis from here on out. So you really got to learn the stuff that we teach, how to have healthy relationships. If you don't, it's going to go right back to the old patterns and you'll go through another breakup again.
Exactly.
Right? All right. So hopefully this one's been helpful to you. If you'd like to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.